Hi, hello. Hello, hi. Hi, hello. Welcome. Welcome in. Um, Sorry, probably should have done this part when the camera was off, but, you know. I am not a professional streamer after all. I am currently at the very best. I am semi-pro. But yeah, welcome in. While we chat at the top and wait for some more people to show up, I am going to reflexively shuffle some cards. I honestly don't know if that noise is going to come through on the microphone. It does seem to, so. But if it gets too annoying for you, let me know. I will either stop shuffling or just move to a spot where I don't think it's going to affect what I'm. It's going to affect the microphone as much. Also, if you're in chat, let me know if the music is too loud or if, in fact, you can hear any music at all. I'm always curious because I'm getting it through my headphones, but so I don't know. I don't always know if you can hear it, and if you can hear it, whether it's like overpowering my voice or not. Because if it is, I will turn it down or turn it off. Because you guys sort of going to need to hear me talk about the game. But hi, hello, welcome. This is the third of 4 blocks of solo TTRPGs that I am playing today. We started at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard, noon Eastern, with Sigils in the Dark. And then we played the second block. We played Witch's Almanac. And in this block, as the title suggests, we are going to play Honey Hex, which is a fun little game around one of my favorite insects, bees. They're not my favorite insect just because they make honey, although that is obviously a bonus. I do sort of take after my favorite large animal, which is the bear. In that regard, I do love honey. But you know, me and Winnie, both from Canada. Yeah, that's the game we're going to play today. So a little bit about me. My name is Brent. If this is your first time on the channel, I go by Dorklord Canada on all the socials. And if you search around, that's where you can find me. But also, if you exclamation point DLC. Oops. Exclamation point DLC in chat. That will take you to my website, which has links to like everything I'm doing. It's also where I blog about tabletop role-playing games. It has links to another site that I'm on called The Rat Hole, which is a wonderful board and role-playing review site that I sometimes write. Editorials for. Haven't for the last little while. Been pretty quiet over there, but looking to pick that up again. If not sooner, then definitely in the new year. So, but there's tons of other interesting stuff going on over there. So if you go over to the rathole.ca, then you can find all that stuff there, or just go to my website and follow the link. from the About page. Yeah, I am a freelance editor, writer, interviewer, as I say, and I also play and run tabletop games, have done for decades now. Tabletop role-playing games is my hobby, my passion. It is what I love doing, probably more than anything else in the world. And so, being able to use something that I so passionately enjoy in order to raise money and help support Extra Life, which helps support sick kids, makes this sort of one of my favorite charities. I've been raising money for Extra Life for 10 years now. It feels... I don't ever feel I'm going to stop. I'm just going to keep going. There are other charities that I obviously want to raise money for, but Extra Life is always going to be my main one, I think. Not just because I can't think of anything. If you're like a young kid and you're sick, like if you just got a cold or a flu, that's still really awful for a young kid. Because you don't have any experience with being sick. You don't know what that's like. You don't know what you have. You don't know that there is an end point to it. All you know is how you feel in the moment. And how you feel is awful. And, right? I mean, and just, if you remember back to the very, very first time you ever felt sick, that's just an awful feeling. Like, who likes that? No one. Then imagine if you're a kid who... it isn't a cold or a flu, it's a chronic illness, or it's something much more serious, something potentially life-threatening. So having hospitals that are specifically geared towards helping children, because children have like special requirements and needs. There is special stuff that's going on because you're not just... right, when you treat an adult, the body has, you know, it's essentially it's finished its growing, right? We don't keep growing in height over the course of our lives. We reach a certain point and we stop. We've developed as far as we're going to go, and then it's sort of maintenance from then on out. So there's some different requirements there, but when you're treating like a growing body, you have to take that into account. So there's all sorts of special research that needs to be done. There's special accommodations that need to be done to help sick kids. It's this whole thing. And, you know, supporting organizations that do that, I think is key. And I want to be able to help with that any way that I possibly can. So here we are, raising money for Extra Life. We've already had a donation today. We are up to $843 out of $1,000. Thank you so very much. Chaotic was my last donation, and it was very, very, very generous. I appreciate it a great deal. If you want to donate, ! Extra Life in chat takes you to the link. For my donation page, there are a list of wonderful incentives depending on what level you donate at, that you can take advantage of, so please do. There's also a link there to something I created on my itch page called The Oath of the Hive, which is very apropos of the game we were playing today, but it is essentially, it answers the burning question, you know, what if I wanted to play a paladin who is also a sentient swarm of bees inhabiting a suit of armor? Which I am convinced we have all had that question in our minds at some point or another. And so you're welcome. I have answered it. So if you go to my donation page, I think the minimum donation you can make through Extra Life is $5. But if that is too much, and I absolutely understand because times are tight out there, you know, that people have disposable money at the moment to even donate as much as they have is astounding and wonderful. That is just $2, and all the money that I get from Oath of the Hive is going to be donated back to Extra Life for the end of the year. So, yeah, please do. Please do donate if you can. Also, just today, just this morning, I got the email from Twitch telling me that I now have affiliate status. And for those unfamiliar with how Twitch works, you know, when you start streaming, you don't really have a lot of they don't put a lot of the tools in place. They want you to spend a certain minimum time streaming and sort of like build up a certain minimum community around what you're doing before they will invest more tools and support into you. So affiliate status unlocks a bunch of stuff that is going to be really helpful for me going forward doing charity streams, and I'm really super excited about that. But also it unlocks things like people can subscribe to the channel now. You can buy gift subs for people. You can buy bits and tip and things like that. I will figure out, like I said, I just got the email for that this morning, so I have only just filled out the paperwork for affiliate status. I haven't actually gone in and looked at the channel and done any of the, like, fixed anything to make it, like, we have channel points now. I don't know. If you click on that, I don't know that there's anything there. There might not be yet. I don't know if there are standard ones that come along with every channel. If there are, then if you have enough channel points, you're more than welcome to spend those, and we'll see what happens. But I will go in and figure all that stuff out. But what it means is, so essentially for the rest of the year at least, any money that you put towards the channel, if you subscribe, if you buy bits, if you tip or anything like that to Dorklord here on Twitch, all of that money, my share of it anyway, obviously Twitch takes their cut, my share of that is also going to go to Extra Life. So if you want to support the channel at the same time that you're supporting Sick Kids, subscription here or buying bits and stuff like that is a way to do that. Yeah, and so that's a little bit about the channel and me and Extra Life and what we're all doing here. But we're here. Actually, you know, before I go on, how are y'all doing? How people in chat, let me know how you're doing while I sip my whiskey laden coffee. Okay, so that was more of a as I gulp down my whiskey laden coffee. But now that I've fully gulped that down, oh, I want to give a quick shout out too. This mug that you see here. Let's see if I can get the image without the light shining across it. And you can sort of see it there. This is from Gem to Firefly, which is a wonderful company run by a buddy of mine named Matt. Also as at Dungeon Glitch on Twitter. And if you just 1 second here, let me go into and grab that. Dungeon. Yes. You go follow Matt on Twitter. You'll see the link to his website, where he sells all sorts of wonderful designs on things that you can buy. So you can get coffee mugs like I have there. I have t-shirts with similar design, and something that he just introduced on the site are blankets. Like 3 different sizes and 2 different material compositions. So you can get yourself like a big ass fluffy blanket, and with like that symbol on it and a whole bunch of other ones. Highly recommend checking out the site. He does wonderful work. He's also a big force for positivity in the tabletop space. So please do go check him out. If you do go by there and pick up some stuff for all your holiday shopping needs, highly recommend using, and I'll put them in chat so you can there you go. If you use Chrissy15 or Amber15, you will get 15% off of your order. I am not affiliated with Matt's company at all, or with Gemmed Firefly or anything like that. I don't get any money back from anything they sell. I just think that what he does is neat, and he often spends a lot of his money on like charities and stuff in the community. So so supporting him is supporting those charities as well. Those 2 discount codes, so Chrissy15 is for another friend of mine who is Chrissy in Color on Twitch, and Amber15 is for another friend of mine who is the Space Jamber on Twitch. Both people you should be following in the tabletop community. Both absolutely wonderful, and they have contributed designs and ideas and stuff like that, and worked with Matt on various things, and so that is why they have a discount code. And you should go use either or both of those codes. You can't use them both at the same time, but you can use them on separate orders, and as far as I know, they don't expire. So every time you order something from Matt, you can put one of those codes in and get 15% off. But it is a great little way. I know for me, ordering stuff up here to Canada, it takes the edge off of the shipping cost quite nicely. I do enjoy using that little discount. Yeah. Just gonna, since I'm in Twitter anyway at the moment, retweet the going live tweet. So what we're here to play today, sorry, I'm just going to come back to, I always like to come back to the channel for a second before I continue on with stuff, so I can see sort of where the channel is at if anything is going horribly wrong. But all right, we are playing today Dungeon Hive, or not Dungeon, Dungeon Hive. Okay, Brent. We are playing Honey Hex. Here's a link to that game right there. I will just read you a little bit from the very beginning. The setting. Honey Hex is a game of exploration for one or more players based on the Carta system by Peach Garden Games. Totally coincidentally, Peach Garden Games is run by probably one of my best friends, Cat McDonald. If you follow at Peach Garden Games on Twitter or at Catlingun, you can follow both of them, and they are absolutely fantastic. The Carta system is a great SRD that they released that allows you to use a deck of cards as your randomizer. So the basic rules are for solo play. Please see page 20 for multiplayer variants. So it is possible to play this game with multiple people if you so desire. So that's fantastic. But we are going to play it as a solo game today. And by we, I mean I mean the royal we. In this game, you take on the role of a royal messenger entrusted with delivering a shipment of Her Majesty's honey to another realm's friendly queen. But you are also a scout entrusted with exploring new terrain and bringing home information, new pollens, and nectar. You may choose to play in either a fantasy or a sci-fi setting, leaning into whichever aesthetic you prefer. While you can fly, you will occasionally need to land to rest. Every time you're sent to a new realm, you usually transport yourself there in a vehicle so as to spend your energy on exploration instead of wasting it on the commute. The directions you're given direct you to a specific landing area, which you may or may not reach unscathed. The first time you play is your first time in the field. Think about your background. Are you newly fledged from the nursery and eager to make your mark in the hive? Or did you change professions in search of something new? Give yourself a name. You are now ready to serve your queen. So, following those instructions, I think for today I'm going to play somebody who has changed jobs. I think up till fairly recently I was just one of the drones. And I would go out to whatever flowers had been marked out for me, and I would collect the pollen, I would bring them back and help turn them into honey, and and then I don't know, maybe somebody higher up the food chain, higher up in the hierarchy, saw some potential in me, or maybe decided that I was potentially expendable, and decided that hey, you get to be a scout and go out and find us new territory and stuff like that. But anyway, I have this new job. I think I'm going to go fantasy, because I like the idea. I think we are fae bees. I think we are bees in a fairy realm, and so all of that very human-like behavior that humans ascribe to bees, that isn't actually, I mean, the bees are just acting instinctively and doing their thing. They're not actually, right, there's a queen bee, but it's not, there's no royal pomp and circumstance actually going on. But I think we're here in the Fae realm, and there absolutely is. The queen bee has her court, and and, you know, attendance and things like that. There is a hierarchy at play, and for whatever reason, let's see, what's a good name? So just making up something is strictly for flavor. I'm going to say that when I was a drone, I had like a 1-syllable name. And then when I got made a scout, to mark the fact that I am like slightly higher up in the hierarchy, because I'm not a drone anymore, but you know, so like maybe my or sorry, not syllable, one word name. So like maybe I was Thistle when I was a drone, and now I get to have like another word in my name. So I'm going to be maybe it's not even something, maybe it's not something I get to choose. Maybe it's one of those things that, you know, like when the Queen knights you, or I guess now in England it's the King, and the King knights you, you get like a or it gives you like a lordship or something like that. You have a name, but you are also the lord of whatever, and you don't really get a choice in the whatever part, because that's like, you know, the royal title that the monarch has bestowed upon you. So I think I'm going to have Storm Thistle. Storm Thistle is the name of my bee character. That's what I'm going with. I was just regular Thistle, and then for some reason not even I don't even think, like, not even necessarily the Queen, but like I might have been called to the Queen's chamber in order to like receive this boon, but I don't even think the Queen spoke to me about it. I think like one of the people close to the Queen came over and talked to me and said, "Hey, your name is Storm Thistle now. Congratulations, you're a scout. Here's your instructions and here's your stuff. You know, go out there and make us proud, champ." So, newly minted Storm Thistle is out there and gonna do his best to serve his queen. What you need to play. So in order to play this game, in order to play Honey Hex, you need at least one standard deck of 52 cards plus jokers, which I have right here. If we were doing competitive multiplayer, each player would have their own deck of cards, with the idea being that you are trying to explore your explore your deck faster than your opponent can. But we're single player, so we just have the one deck of cards. We need a 6-sided die, which I have right here. We need a token to keep track of my place on the cards, which I have right here. I have a penny, which is a rarity here in Canada. We got rid of our pennies several years ago, but I've kept like a handful around just to use as like tokens or markers and stuff like that. Technically we were supposed to hand them in, but technically fuck the government. Sorry, just kidding. Love you, Canadian government. A way to keep track of energy, perhaps a 20-sided die. Indeed, perhaps. And a way to note down your adventures and observations, such as a journal. Normally if I was playing this just on my own, not on stream, yes, I would absolutely do that. When I'm playing a journaling game on stream, I tend to just like speak out loud the thoughts and ideas I have around what I would write down for a particular entry. because I think that's more interesting than just you watching me write stuff. I have it on my list of things to buy to get myself like an extra camera that I can then use to point down at the table so that I can actually show what I'm doing on the table on screen. Because ultimately I think that will be more interesting for folks if they can watch me sort of watch me play the game as opposed to me just describing what I'm doing. But I don't have that right now, sorry. And then it also suggests that up to 19 small tokens if we were doing separate path multiplayer mode, which we are not. So we hopefully won't need those tokens, but if we do, I have like plenty of stuff I can use as tokens around, so no hardship there. Having assembled all of that, we set up for the game thuswise. Essentially, you make a hex of face down cards. And so we will do that by... I have shuffled this deck considerably. So you do basically 3 cards at the top. A row of 4 underneath that. A row of 5 underneath that. Then a row of 4 again. And then a row of 3 again. And at the end you will have something which is vaguely hexagon shaped. And then you set the rest of the cards aside. You may need them during play, but for right now they can just go there. So, and then the page, so you place your token on the landing zone. This is where you begin the game. And the landing zone is the, as you're facing the cards, the leftmost card in the row of 5. Your destination in the game is the rightmost card in the row of 5. Now, you have been sent as a scout. You have been sent out into the world and entrusted with making contact with the queen of another hive. You're basically like bringing them supplies and stuff like that. But your queen also wants you to explore, because every hive always needs to be exploring to find like new honey sources and new pollen sources and things like that. It says if this is your first game, which it is, you start with 20 energy. So I have my 20-sided die set to 20. I've got my 6-sided die standing by. Essentially, every time you move 1 space, which is 1 card, you use 1 energy. If your energy is 0 before you land on your destination, take the straightest route to the destination card and lose 1 permanent point of energy for each card traveled this way. So if I was going to continue on, say, with the same character that I'm playing today, if Storm Thistle was going to continue with other explorations, that would mean that I would start the next game with 20 energy minus however many I ended up spending that way. So let's say it took me 3 cards, I reach 0 and it's going to take me 3 cards to get to my destination. That means that I start with 17 energy the next time I play the game. The rest of the cards are your deck in hand and will help you resolve conflicts you may encounter during the course of your explorations using actions. Now, also, at the start of each game, you are carrying cargo from your ship at the landing zone to your destination. So I start with 1 vial of each of the basic supply of honeys, and we'll talk about that in a second. These 6 vials constitute the minimum amount you'd ideally like to bring to your destination. So basically, I've been given like you know, take these 6 vials of honey and bring them to this queen. If I now, you know, if I show up with less, that's probably not great. If I show up with more, everyone's happy. In her wisdom, however, our queen is very wise, has seen fit to provide me with a bonus supply of honeys. So I roll a d6 to see how many extra vials I have in my bonus supply. 5. Ooh, our queen is very generous. I'm going to grab another d6 and use that to keep track so that I can you may determine the contents of your inventory from the list below, or once you've had a chance to play the game, make your own honey with beneficial properties after researching known single floral honey varietals. I'm probably going to put, you know, this is a little bit of easy mode, but I'm going to just, I have 5 bonus vials of honey. And if I have to go use one, I will pick one off the list that is going to be most beneficial to me in the moment and drink it. It'll be like, it'll end up being whatever I need in that moment, and then I will reduce the number of vials. For right now, that is a little simpler than me like keeping track of individual, like how much I have of 6 different types of honey. So so currently I am carrying 11 vials of honey. You may carry up to 15 vials before your cargo becomes too heavy for you. At that point, it costs 2 energy to move to the next card instead of 1. So I can have more than 15, but at the cost of it costing me twice as much to move from space to space. So that is something to keep in mind for sure as we're trying to move along. Yeah, but so far, so good. The reason this is important and having bonus stuff is that in the course of my travels, it may be necessary for me to drink some honey, because the honey gives me certain benefits and may allow me to get out of situations that might otherwise harm me, or, you know, interfere with my ability to carry out my duty to the queen. So so hopefully I don't have to drink any more honey than the bonus ones that I have. But we shall see. And the other important thing to note is that the abilities gained from consuming honey last for 3 card spaces, including the one you're currently in. So if I drink honey on a particular card, that ability will stay with me for the next card I move to and the next card, and then it's gone. The 6 basic types of honey, I'm not going to read the entire descriptions for them. They have descriptions about how they smell and taste. But essentially, acacia honey gives me invisibility. So I draw an extra card from for flight checks. Alfalfa honey gives me extra strength. So after drinking it, I get an extra card for fight checks. Buckwheat is more beneficial for health. So after drinking a vial, I regain 1 energy. I think that energy like stays. I regain it, so I get the energy back. I think that's the exception to the 3-card rule, is that it doesn't go away after 3 cards. I get that energy back. Well, yeah, I regain energy, but I spend an energy moving anyway. So, kudzu. Kudzu honey grants the drinker swiftness. So after drinking, Val messengers may travel 2 cards on 1 energy, and this ability lasts for 6 cards instead of 3. So that's a good one to have. Lavender honey promotes calmness and tranquility. So after drinking a vial, messengers may draw an extra card for both fright and friend checks. So you're already getting a sense just from the description of the honey, the sort of things you might encounter out in the big wide world. And then mangrove honey. After drinking a vial, messengers gain the temporary ability to breathe underwater or in places of foul or little air. So obviously that's going to come up, because why would you have a honey in the game that gave you that ability? And then, so adventure. Once you've selected your inventory, so we have done that. Roll 1d6 to determine the terrain of the kingdom you've been sent to, as defined by its primary element in the 6 elements universe. So I'm going to roll, that's a 3. Ooh, so this is like fire. So it's like a hot desert cauldron or a lavascape. I'm going to say it's an area very similar to like the Badlands here in Alberta, and if you want to like Google that, you can. But it is a very sort of deserty environment. There are plants, there are flowering plants and cacti and stuff like that. But it is like a very dry, hot, arid location. So yeah, I think it's very much like that. If you were playing this game on your own, this is where you would, like, in your journal, you would write down about this territory and sort of describe your immediate environment. But I think that's pretty much it. That it's and then landing at the landing spot that I have has its own set of interesting challenges. So I roll a d6 to determine the circumstances of my landing. So roll a d6, and that's a 5. So I've landed in the right place, but it is mysteriously far from my destination. So yeah, like, you know, I've landed in the right spot. But for some reason, it's like way farther away from like where I'm ultimately going than I was expecting, and yeah, I don't like it. I don't like. Already, this mission is going off the rails. So I hope the exploration goes a little bit better. And then you start on a face down card. So the very first thing you do is you turn over the card that you're on. And you deal with the encounter at that location. So not only have I landed mysteriously far from my ultimate destination, but now I have to deal with something that is here. And this is essentially how the game proceeds. You are going to move from hex to hex. Your ultimate goal is to get to your destination card and present the honey to the queen that you're visiting. You have to turn over, well, you want to try and turn over at least 6 honey, 1 of each type. Depending on what you encounter on the way there, that may not be possible by the time you get there. And as you're going through the game, it is always up to you. Like, if I wanted to, I could just make a beeline. See what I did there? Because I start in the leftmost card of the row that has my destination in it, I could just go like straight across that row, go to my destination, finish the thing. But where's the fun in that, right? So, because part of what you're out here to do is explore. If you just go straight to your destination, you're not exploring anything, and you're not bringing new information back for your queen. Your queen isn't going to be very happy with you at that point. So basically, as you proceed with play, you're going to, like, you know, write journal entries for each of the thing to your satisfaction. Because I'm playing this on stream, as I say, I'm just going to like talk a little bit about what I encounter and what I think I do in those situations. But if you were playing this on your own home, you would journal, and you would journal as much or as little as you wanted to. So if you just want to write point form, you can do that. If you want to write like a big flowery, see what I did there, explanation about what you're doing, you can certainly do that. But essentially you're going to move from card to card, and as you turn over the cards, you're going to check and see what the description on the hex table says. And very interestingly, they have laid this out. So a lot of the card games that I've played that are similar in like that they use a deck of cards, lay them out by suit, and then they describe what each card in the suit does. This game has chosen to put it as, you know, this is what is on the card. So like all of the 9s are listed together. You know, all of the 10s are listed together. All the jacks, aces, etc., are together, which I think is actually really cool. Makes it very easy to find. So I'm starting on the 6 of clubs. You come across a monument to the fallen. As you contemplate and describe the memorial and what it commemorates, regain 1 energy. So I'm going to say that puts me, like, that just keeps me at 20. As you flip over each card, you are basically spending an energy to... So I'm going to say, like, yeah, it cost me an energy to get here and explore the space that I landed in. But then finding this monument and stuff like that, I was able to like sit and rest for a moment and regain some energy. Not sure how I feel about being like, you know, finding a monument to the fallen right at the start of my adventure. Like, you know, a memorial to all of those who have fallen in battle is not an auspicious way to start my first day on the job. But that's okay. We're going to move on. We're going to search another square. Let's see. So from the starting point, I have like 3 possible spaces to go to. In this game, unlike in other games, you can travel diagonally. In fact, it is impossible not to, given the way the cards are laid out. So basically, you want to try as much as possible to move to any unexplored card that you can, because while keeping in mind what is on the other cards. So if, like, you know, you go through a number of cards that, for instance, sap a lot of your energy, maybe you want to double back and go back to that card that gave you back some energy. So, you know, if my energy levels are getting low, maybe I want to like follow a path back to where I landed here, so I can get an energy back when I get here, and also, you know, maybe pass through some cards that'll give me back some energy, or, you know, whatever. But all of that is going to depend on what I find. So I have to move off the landing zone. So I think I'm going to go diagonally up, and that gets me to the 7 of diamonds. 7 of diamonds. You become covered in a coat of the local environment that oddly gives you an extra draw on your next fright check. Okay, Cool. Coat of the local environment. Yeah, I mean, it's just a hot, dusty environment. So I think it's like normally I would sort of stand out as a bee, you know, the sort of bright yellow against the black. But I think maybe like it just gotten like really dusty, and so that's sort of toned down. So I blend in a little bit better. I have an opportunity to either, you know, avoid or potentially just scare something that I run into. So let's keep going. I'm just going to keep going north. 8 of diamonds. You find an orchard of white and yellow flowers that allows you to gather enough nectar to distill honey that grants an extra draw on flight checks. Okay, that's cool. I haven't run in anything that would make me do a flight check yet, but so I have an extra draw on fight and I have an extra draw on flight. So I will just remember that. And I will continue moving along the top row of 3. Ooh, the ace of diamonds. That's probably going to be something. You stumble across a flower whose scent clings to you in a way that fills you with confidence, allowing you to draw an extra card for fright checks till you reach your destination. Okay, so now I always draw an extra card on fright checks. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like one of my favorite flowers, I think it's lavender. I really do like lavender as a flower. It's one of my favorites. Sorry, I shouldn't be picking. Yeah, that's sort of here in Edmonton. That is like, you know, there's the building next door has like a row of lavender trees as sort of a hedge. That always signifies to me like the sort of the true beginning of spring, regardless of what the calendar says. Like when that hedge, you know, when the leaves come back on that hedge and the lavender flowers on there, that's sort of like the beginning of spring to me. That's the yeah. So I'm just going to continue on along here. The Queen of Clubs. Okay. This may or may not be good. Oh, okay. The local queen is incognito and asks you to keep her identity secret. Well, so yeah, I haven't had anything yet that is asked me to make a check yet, but that may change. So the local queen is incognito, so I'm not sure what that means yet, but I guess that we'll see. That may come up. Oh, something I've been forgetting to do. So I've been spending energy as I go across these. So I've moved through 1, 3, 4. So I'm actually down to 16 energy. There we go. Something I'll remember to do. Yeah. Ooh, the Queen of Diamonds. Well, I don't even have to move off the... The local queen is on an official tour of her domain with all pomp and ceremony. Oh, this is silly me for not reading this. Meeting a queen in the field brings special bonuses. In the course of the encounters below, black queens will fully replenish your basic supply, while red queens will fully replenish your basic and bonus supply. Note that you will still need to deliver your official cargo to the destination. Well, so far I haven't spent any of my supply, so it hasn't really applied yet, but since I've run into like my second queen, that is something to keep in mind. So basically I run into literally the Queen of Diamonds, which is a queen bee. So the Queen of Clubs is keeping her identity secret. The Queen of Diamonds is out there with like all pomp and ceremony. Don't know how I missed her previously. And that knocks my energy down to 50. So I move on to the next. The Jack of Hearts. And that's my energy down to 14. Oh, a helpful stranger shows you the easiest path to your next waypoint. You do not have to spend energy to move to the next card. Well, that is very nice of that helpful stranger. I will move to the next card, which is a Jack of Spades. So I don't have to spend any energy. Oh. Well, this Jack is a jerk. A sly stranger misdirects you. Lose 1 energy. Well, there you go. Down to 13. And then I will continue on to the 5 of Hearts. I mean, so far I'm doing a pretty good job for my queen, I think. Oh, okay, things are about to get tough. You unwittingly fly into the tender bosom of a carnivorous plant. Uh-oh. Make a fight check. If you succeed, you escape. If you fail, lose 1 energy and keep making fight checks until you succeed. For every round you fail, lose another energy. Alright, so how you make checks in the game is you still have these cards in hand. Numbered cards are worth the number that's on them. So 2 through 10. Jacks are worth 11. Queens are worth 12. Kings are worth 13. Aces are worth 14. Jokers are worth 15. And basically you're just going to do a check. Now I think the initial check is against... yeah, so you draw a card for yourself, you draw a card for your opponent, and whoever has the highest card wins that encounter. Now, because of a previous space that I was on, I do have the ability to draw an extra card for my next fight check, which is now. So I'm going to do that. So I have my deck of cards. I will take my 2 cards and put them here. I will take the card for my opponent. I will put them here. So my opponent has drawn a 5. So as long as one of the 2 cards that I have here is higher than a 5, and there we go, I've got a 9. So that beats the 5. So I've won. So we will go, back to the 5 of Hearts. If I succeed, I escape. Excellent. So I have escaped. If I had failed that check, I can make another one. Although the bonus card that I draw was only on my next fight check. So if I wanted to get another bonus card, I would have to drink a honey that would give me the bonus on my fight check. Or just draw a single card. And I would keep doing that until I had successfully escaped. But I did it in one go. It's all those years working as a drone. I'm actually in really good shape. So next card, King of Clubs. We all know to bees, kings ain't worth shit, so here we go. A powerful stranger wants to take what you're transporting. Make a fight or flight check. If you fail, lose 1 vial from your basic supply of your choice. Whew. You son of a... Anyway, okay, so I'm going to shuffle. Because I did put those cards that I just had back in. So I want to make sure I don't just pull those cards again. I think I'm going to do a flight check because the space I was on earlier gave me that bonus to like all of my flight checks until I reach my destination. So I'm going to yeah, I'm going to do this as a flight check so that I don't have to so I can draw 2 cards basically. So there's my 2 cards. There's the card for my opponent. Oh, shoot. Joker. So unless I have also pulled a Joker, this is going to go badly for me, and I have not pulled a Joker. So I lose a vial from my basic supply. I think I am going to lose. Oh, I'm sorry. I also forgot to drop my energy for moving into that square, so I'm at 12 now. Whew. What will I take off? I think I'm going to lose the mangrove honey. Yeah, lose the mangrove honey. So far I haven't really encountered it, and of course, like now that I've gotten rid of that, watch me run into something where I absolutely need it. But gonna move on to the next square, so my energy is now 11. Might need to drink something out of my bonus supply in order to get my energy up. But come on, there's a limit on this die somewhere. There it is. 6 of diamonds. So scroll down. You come across a monument to an occasion that improved the fortunes of the realm. As you contemplate and describe the memorial and what it commemorates, regain 1 energy. Pop that back up to 12. Thank you very much, memorial. Yeah. So if I wanted to, I could move to my destination and, you know, turn over the stuff I have, and they would be maybe the fact that I still have these 5 bonus vials to hand over would somewhat take the sting. See what I did there? Out of not having the mangrove honey in my basic supply, but I'm going to keep exploring because, like, why wouldn't I? So go on to the next card. It is the 10 of Hearts. So I'm down to 11 again. And let's see what the 10 of Hearts does for me, or to me. Oh, the terrain opens up unexpectedly. Draw 1 extra card on your next fright check. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Well, let's keep flying. Well, actually, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go down to the 2 of diamonds. Let's I haven't pulled the 2 yet. Let's see what this is. Like 2 of diamonds. You come across a bright, cool place to rest. Regain 1 energy. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm not going to complain about that. Back to 12 energy. And then I will continue on to the King of Diamonds. Okay. I wasn't really impressed with the last king I came across, so let's see if this improves things any. A wealthy stranger wants a gift from what you're transporting. Make a friend check. If you fail, lose 1 vial from your basic supply of your choice. What is with all these, like, strangers showing up and, like, wanting to take honey from me? Sir. This is not cool. This is not cool at all. I would ask to speak to your manager, but your manager is a queen, and all right. And this is a friend check. I don't have any bonuses to friend checks, so this is going to be a single card. A single card for my opponent. My opponent's card is the 10 of diamonds. My card is the 2 of spades. So I lose another basic honey. Which is frankly bullshit. Well, I'm already, like, I already have, from one of the other cards I was on, I already have, like, extra card. I pull out an extra card every time I do a flight check. So I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I think it's the acacia honey. But I'm going to give that up because I don't need it to drink it. It's annoying that I've lost yet another basic one. So, like, thank goodness I have this bonus honey that I can turn into what I need, because otherwise it'd be embarrassing showing up at. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm just going to say that, like, my bonus honey, I happen to have an extra vial of each, so I've knocked my bonus honey down to 3. We're going to keep going. Now, if I wanted to, if I was out of bonus honey and I was losing the basic honey, because there are queens face up on the table, I could go back to, like, the red queen. Well, either of the queens, actually, because the black queens will refill your basic honey and red queens will refill basic and bonus. But then I would have to deal with encounters on the way back. So every time I pass through the card, I would have to spend energy traveling back to them, and I would also have to encounter the things on the way there, which could be good. Like, if I keep to cards that give me bonuses or don't detract from what I'm doing, that could be all right. But it is something to keep in mind if you get into that situation. But I'm just going to keep going. And we have flown into the 2 of clubs. So let's see what that does. Boop-a-boo. You come across a sorry. Well, I won't knock it down now because I've read what it says. You come across a fragrant, secluded place to rest. Regain 1 energy. Awesome. And yeah, so we're just going to keep going. So basically it didn't cost me energy to... Oh, there we go. And I landed on the Queen of Hearts. So actually, yeah, I replenish my basic or my bonus honey back up to 5. In addition to, like, whatever it says in the card. So let's scroll back up. But yes, if you run across a red queen, she graciously replenishes your entire supply of honey. The local queen is attending a revel to which you are also cordially invited. So if you were if you were journaling along on your own, this would be where you could, like, write about what it was like attending the revel, what entertainments there were. You could be as descriptive about that as you want to. Because we are here on stream, I'm just going to say that yes, I attend the revel. It is glorious. It is a mask, which, if you can imagine, all sorts of bees going around wearing masks, like the very standard sort of domino type masks, but you know, like highly decorated and stuff like that. I think that is quite lovely and quite fun, and we have a very good time. And so then I continue on with my exploration. It occurs to me that, like, you know, there's sort of like, you know, a lot of like backdoor espionage going on in this, because honestly, I showed up in the landing zone and I could have just gone straight across to where I'm supposed to deliver where I'm supposed to deliver my payload, and you know, I keep running into the local queen, and she's got to have questions about like, why are you out here? But then if she starts like leaning on me too hard and asking me those questions, then when one of her scouts shows up in my queen's territory, my queen is going to have to do the same thing to sort of like retaliate or keep the balance. And so I think there's this like delicate diplomatic dance of, yes, I'm here to deliver something, but we also know that I'm here to like explore your territory and suss out where the good flowers are and all the rest of that and report back. Make an intelligence report back to my queen. We all know we're doing it. We just sort of ignore it and get on with our lives. Okay, last unexplored card. Oh, sorry. I got sidetracked. So I moved on to the card I'm on, which is the Jack of Diamonds. An old friend unexpectedly appears bearing bad news. Draw one less card on your next fright check, which could mean 0. So basically my next fright check, I will auto lose. So hopefully this next card is not a fright check. 7 of clubs. So I'm down to 10 energy. And let's see what the 7 of clubs has in store for me. You become covered in a coat of the local environment that oddly gives you an extra draw on your next fight check. Okay. I mean, that's... Yeah, maybe I get like, you know... Again, I get covered in like sand, and so I've got like extra grit and stuff on me, so the next time I have to fight something, I can like either shake that off as an irritant into their eyes, or it's just like it's extra painful if I fly into something. The grit is like extra painful. Okay. But now I have to get to my destination. So I go to the 10 of... Do I want to go to the 10 of hearts, or do I want to go to the 6 of diamonds? 6 of diamonds is... I regain an energy. So yeah, I'm going to go to the 6 of diamonds first. So basically I just don't spend any energy going to that space. And then I go to my destination, which is the 7 of hearts. So before I do resolve getting to my destination, I have to resolve the card. But the 7 is another one of those ones where I get covered in a coat of the local environment that gives me an extra draw on my next friend check. I'm going to say that like a bit of like cactus flower blossom is now sort of coating me, which makes me like extra colorful, and I smell delightful to whoever encounters me. So that'll give me an extra friend check, but it doesn't matter because I've reached my destination with not only the original payload of 6 honeys that were promised, but with an extra like 5 bonus files that I turn over as well. So when you reach your destination, you then go to the destination section, And what happens when you arrive is determined by the suit of card that you turn over. You know, you, as I said, you resolve the card as a location card. As you, just in case it matters, I will remember to knock my energy down to 9. So yeah, I arrive at my destination. The queen is there. And so congratulations, you've reached your destination, the seat of the local queen. Once you've reached your destination, count up the number of vials you have left. This is the number of shipments you will successfully deliver, so in my case, 11. Now you will determine your reception. Flip over the destination card and consult the table below. Only suits matter for the destination card, not values. Oh, I was wrong. So you don't have to resolve that one. So I didn't have to do anything. You are received graciously and with open arms. No matter the shipment, the reigning queen affirms the friendship between your courts. Oh, it was a heart. So 7 of hearts. The reigning queen affirms the friendship between your courts and listens with interest to your travels. Receive 2 tokens of gratitude. So the tokens are used in campaign mode. You can play campaign mode in solo. So at the end of each delivery, you may choose either to take a number of bonus supply vials with you on your next journey, 1 for each card you placed here, in addition to your bonus supply dice roll, or regain 1 point of permanent energy up to your max of 20 for each bonus card placed here. And then they sort of have like a leveling up system. So for each, so you just keep track of how many tokens you've gotten. And then for every 6 tokens, you essentially gain a level. So right now I'm an apprentice. Makes sense. I'm just starting off. Once I've gained 6 tokens, however, I'm a journeyman. At the journeyman level, I can carry up to 18 vials as opposed to 15 before I have to take an energy penalty. When I get to 12 tokens, I am an ordinary. I permanently gain a +1 draw bonus for 1 category for the rest of the campaign. So I imagine I would choose what that is, and then I permanently have that bonus. If I get up to like 18 tokens, permanently gain a +1 draw bonus for 1 more category for the rest of the campaign. I'm now an able. At 24, I become an expert. So buckwheat potions now give 3 energy instead of 1. If I get up to 30, I am a master scout. Assigned to larger territories, may solo traverse a hex of 4, 5, 6, 5, 4 cards. So my layout changes, it gets bigger. So potentially more danger, but potentially more reward. And then if 36 plus, I am a supreme scout. Traveling to another card only expends energy if a conflict check was failed in the present card. Kudzu Honey still only works for 6 cards. And then it has rules about multiplayer mode, and there is also a Honey Hex character sheet that you can print out at the end that is very adorable, that actually has like spaces with different honey pots for you to fill in the different types of honey that you have, and tracks your permanent energy. So your permanent energy can never go over 20. I think earlier on I said that it hinted that it might, but that is not the case. But like if your energy is ever dropped permanently, then you know it can be. There are ways for you to get it back. So yeah, that's Honey Hex. That is the game. That is how it's played. I hope I hope you found that interesting. I will put the link in chat one more time if you want to pick up a copy for yourself, which I highly recommend doing. Um, but yeah, that's just a fun little game to play. And I highly recommend checking out the Carta SRD system. Not just if you want to make a solo TTRPG of your own, which obviously you can do with it, and you know, if you have an idea for a game, I encourage you to do it and go ahead and put it out there, because the world always needs more games. There always needs to be. The world is always going to need some way, some new way to lighten the mood, or you know, lighten our hearts, but also if you're looking for something, you want to change up encounters in whatever tabletop role-playing game you are playing with friends, the Carta system is a good thing to look into for generating like encounter areas. So, I mean, let's say you're playing through an encounter and you need to go through, I don't know, like a haunted castle. Yes, absolutely. You could draw out a map of that castle and assign encounters to each of those rooms in the map that you've created, and share that map with the players, and the players would move through the map, and you would explain to them sort of what they see when they get there and the encounter and yada yada yada. But think of how much more interesting it would be if you instead sat down with the Carta system and you came up with a series of room descriptions based on like each of the cards in a deck of cards, with or without the jokers, completely up to you. And then you, instead of like, so they get to the haunted castle and start exploring, and instead of you like rolling out like a battle mat or anything like that, you instead pull out a deck of cards, shuffle it, deal out a spread of like however many encounters you want that place to have, and then just, okay, your party is starting here on this card, and you flip the card over and you give like a little bit of a description, and then you ask the players like, so based on that, what details do you sort of see around you? Like, how does this play out? What does it look like? How does it make you feel? All that sort of stuff, right? And immediately you have like player buy-in from what's going on, because now they're like, not only have you physically laid out something that is a mystery to them, because now you've got this array of face down cards. I don't know why I'm rubbing the table outside of the view of the camera, but I am. But now you have this array of face down cards for them to look at. Excuse me. But they also get to and immediately that's like more mysterious than just like looking at a battle map and being like, okay, I go to the next thing, because you don't know, like they can choose like what card you want to get to next, and depending on how you've done the array, maybe you put the array in like a rows and columns, and they can't move diagonally, they can only move like through a row or by a column, or maybe you lay it out like it's laid out in Honey Hex, so you have like these sort of so that you can move diagonally, and that sort of changes how they approach moving through these cards and stuff like that. Also knowing that, like, if you establish at the beginning that, like, the rule is if you move back through the card, you encounter whatever is there again, unless you have done something to like destroy or assuage, or you know, something in the story that allows that, then you know, they're gonna encounter whatever's in that scar before. And if it's beneficial, great, that allows them to, like, you know, get some healing or get some other bonus, stuff like that. If it's bad stuff, like if they just get a bad run of cards, you know, if they have to retreat from something, they may have to retreat from something awful through a bunch of stuff that is, like, you know, as bad or worse. So it, like, adds an interesting element to, like, an interesting strategic element to the play, that is also based in storytelling, because you were engaging them on that level, that also allows you to sorry, not allows you to, but it gives you that strategic level along with that storytelling level, without you necessarily having to, like, dump more combat encounters on them. And obviously, if you have a group that enjoys combat encounters, you want to keep that in there for them, and so that can be part of, like, the things that you encounter along the way. And if they fight whatever is in a particular space and win, you can say that, like, okay, well, if you move through that space now, you've cleared it, you've made it safe, so that space you don't have to re-encounter whatever was there. You have dealt with the issue there. So that's something to think about if you want an interesting, fun way to add sort of an extra dimension to your group play. I think the Carta system is definitely something to check out. And if you go over to itch.io and just in the search bar go Carta SRD, CARTA space SRD altogether, it should come up in the search results. And I think it's like a free download or a pay what you will. So because Cat is your friend, I will recommend throwing, like, you know, a few or $5 their way if you find it at all useful. But and I shouldn't say just because Cat is a friend. I would recommend you paying for a creator's work, even if we weren't friends. But in particular, because we are, I highly recommend paying. Yeah, so once again, we've sort of finished this block a little early. So I think what I'm going to do, one more time, I'm going to drop Extra Life, the link to my donation page. Please, if you're able to, head through to my donation page and make a donation to Extra Life. It is the reason we are here today. I am $157 away from my $1,000 goal. I would love to see that shrink. Well, okay. I would love to see the number on the status bar go up and get closer to my $1,000 goal. So if you can contribute at all today, that's wonderful. I am playing another solo TTRPG on Thursday night, starting at 6 o'clock Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you aren't able to donate today and you want to come back on Thursday and donate, more than welcome to do that. And I am doing another 4 hours of this to finish off the November game day stuff that I didn't get finished. next Saturday. So if you're not going to have any extra cash until next Saturday, swing on by. I'll be here running some more games and chatting with you all. So yeah, but given that we're running a little ahead of schedule, I am going to take a short break, and then I might actually just get back to it and start the last block. So I am going to run away for a moment. If you want to hang around, awesome. If you have to go, thanks so much for coming by and watching. But I'm going to take like a 15-minute break and then come back. That's going to give me a chance to refill my water, do a bio break, all that wonderful stuff. And then we will play the last game of today, which is My Welcome Guest by Yoshi Creelman, which I'll just drop the link here. Boop. By Dawn Bear Games. If you want to check that out while I'm on break, then you can do that. Yeah, this is going to be, that'll be the last game of today, so I'm going to come back in 15 minutes. We may wrap that one up early as well, which is awesome, because I might wrap up the stream then before dinner time, and that would be swell. Yeah, thanks for coming by, and we will see you again in a little bit. I'm going to end the stream so that it stops recording and then start it again, so that we start a new recording, so I don't have big VOD chunks that I have to transport over to YouTube. So yeah, we'll see you again.